Well, greetings race fans to a very special race day, live for the first time on the Deviant Racing League lobbies. This is Webbo. We are at the Nordschleife 24-hour Nürburgring circuit for a fantastic season finale. The drivers are just doing their outlap right now for their one-shot quali. It's not quite as long as the 20 minutes described at the very start of proceedings today, but it is a one-shot qualifying situation for the drivers. We just simply don't have the life to spare to qualify for any more than one lap around this track. So how do things look after Saint-Croix and the penultimate round of the championship? Well, we find Globus on top with 67 points when you take into account the drivers' dropped race scores. In second place, just 1 point away, and according to Globus, the main rival here at this very circuit today is Zen on 66 points. In third place, we have Mercury on 62, still well within chance here of running our championship contenders. So 5 points separating the top three. In fourth place is Yonkai on 52, with Besso on 50. A battle there for the fourth place overall, with 49 point wearing Camzilla in sixth place. We have on 46 points in seventh Dirksey, in eighth place on 44. Jointly are both Floody and Preston, with Chaotica on 42 and Bedrock Jones on 34, just ahead of the relegation zone that features TX Speedstars, Zanshin and Komakopa. TX Speedstars is only 3 points away from that relegation line protection on 31, with Zanshin also within a shout here today on 29 points. In the combined team standings, this is after Saint-Croix. 204 means that I believe Alfa Romeo have wrapped up the championship, but it is a fight for second place between Chevrolet on 167, Ferrari on 160, Jaguar on 154 and Lamborghini on 145, with some place distance the French teams Peugeot and Renault on 127 and 121 respectively. We're going to get underway for everybody, of course, and yes, I was absolutely planning to display race info as well for everybody, but we're going to be on and on track, ready, and quite helpfully, of course, we're going to see the drivers in their order for today. I'm waiting to see how we get on for everybody, as Peter is here for us, and we look forward to seeing Peter later on this channel, but more about that later, of course, and we'll see him soon. And nice to have everybody join us. This is the endurance layout, of course, so it's the combination of Nordschleife and Grand Prix. It's the Green Hell and the Green Heck combined, without the Mercedes Stadium section of the Grand Prix circuit that you'll be used to seeing. The track is looking beautiful. It is bright sunshine here at the Green Hell, but for how long you can never tell, and you just get an idea on that camera shot of the undulation on this amazing circuit. It is far too frightening for me to ever really try and spend any time, but heading into the northeast sector of the racetrack around the Caracciolo Carousel and the Hoja Acht will be coming soon into actually the Dottingen region. Now the Nürburgring is obviously is a track that is so large it straddles Nürburg, Mullenbach, Adenau, Dottingen, and on the southwest side, Moispath districts of Germany. It's the most incredible circuit. And isn't this Alfa Romeo looking pretty good today? I think, is that actually an Oscar Wiener livery? Am I seeing things, or is that correct? For Zen here on track, and he's making sure that he's out there on the circuit. Sully is waiting in the pit lane for the safety car procedures. I'm not sure Bedrock Jones and Floody have got the correct livery showing on my screen, unfortunately, because they're always pretty attractive to look at. But we've got Komakopa here. Apologies for any names I mispronounce or any misgendering as well. Make sure that if you're watching with me, you let me know if I'm misgendering anybody. I never want to do that. But there we have Mercury as well in the Brando, a brand I'm unfamiliar with there, but we've got stars and stripes on the car, of course. We've got Junkai do let me know. Saito says he wishes he was an Oscar Mayer winner. Absolutely, because then everybody will fall in love with you, right? Have I got that correct? Have I managed to straddle the transatlantic situation to get that correct? And here we have. We've got Timid saying about the shame on the liveries. It's not always the spectator's fault. Sometimes it's down to the host or the lobby glitch. Unfortunately, I have had both every single livery showing beautifully, and then sometimes not a single livery showing right. So it really does appear to be fairly randomized. Chaotica is driving the Total sponsored Peugeot, but in front we have Dirksey in the lime green Jaguar. And as a Brit, I have to take a little bit of an exception to the Jaguar livery. It's far too brash for us reserved Brits, unfortunately. But it looks like we've got the drivers just touring through everybody, as Ricky Maru is loving the camera angles. It is a fabulous track, a fabulous game for the graphics. We do absolutely love it. We love to see it. Camzilla is in an X-Men, in a Wolverine X-Men livery. I love that. Nice one. Gotta absolutely love it. Love to see. As Floody should be in pink, white and blue, but unfortunately is not. And Dirksey representing the drink that plants crave. You have to. Is that the? That's not the Brauno, is it? No. Get it right. So the Chevy is in a flame livery as well. Looking beautiful. This Chevy. That is a very smart colour scheme. Enjoying that one. In fact, let's get a little closer look at that, shall we? It's a Nürburgring special. Yeah, close to being my favourite of the day so far. However, we've got Glovas, championship contender, certainly championship leader by a single point at the moment. Let's ride with him for his first sector as we go underneath the hoardings back onto the Grand Prix circuit. And we're going to be heading into the start-finish line right about now. So let's compare sectors, shall we? One in turn, and try and ride with everybody as we go. This is Glovas then into the first hairpin. Then we need to turn to the left. And we're using the full Mercedes Arena circuit. So that's good. We are doing the absolute maximum that we can through here. Turning right into turn 4. Should have got my other track map out, really, shouldn't I? Now a harsh turn right. Hairpin and powering up and out, heading through the Schumacher S. Now I'm all over the place, aren't I? We are coming into towards that is the Coca-Cola chicane. Oh dear, I'm going to have to get my other map out. My Nordschleife relevant map. A 1:21.0 is Glovas' first lap out there, first sector. Let's compare that 1:21.0 with Besso, shall we? Driving for Spain here. As we run underneath. Doof says a driver's game crashed, lobby reset. So thank you very much, Doof, for the info. And reading that, I managed to miss the sector update, unfortunately. Let's try and catch someone's next sector, shall we? This is Chaotica, getting very close to that wall. A 1:21.6 for him as we come through with Dirksey. 22.2. Okay, so we'll be back with a reset lobby after qualifying. Presumably that driver who discoed will be reset to the back, but we'll have a chance to compete, which is excellent. 1:21.8 for Preston, and we will run through and check out how Mercury is doing. Mercury in third place in the championship at the moment. Oh no, 62 points, 5 away from the leader. It is all to play for. And of course, we won't be able to necessarily crown a winner today unless it is absolutely certain. 23-1 for Mercury. He's got a lot of ground to find as Mercury in that after that poor first sector. A 119.9 though from Junkai is pretty special. That is the best we've seen so far anyway, as we'll run through and ride on board with Globas, heading out of Fuchsröhre and through the Adenauer Forst, heading towards Metzgersfeld is the left, the right-hander Kallenhard coming up. Okay, so we've got great information here from Timid. Junkai is using his original Bang livery created by Mercury. Copa is using a Bang livery inspired by La Pétrouille Acrobatique de France, an air demonstration team from his native land. Tremendous. Okay, Glovers then riding through then the Vierschäfen. Caution as we come down the hill then. You are hard on the brakes, trying to get an understeery car in towards the apex. So far, so smooth. And a 350.1 from Glovas as we go through here. Compare that then with Besso. So what news of Zen? Is it Zen the Disco? 351.4 for Besso. Camzilla coming through. 351.2, that's looking good. For Floody. Have we lost time? I can't be sure. Sorry. Seem to have missed the sectors. 53.0 Chaotica. 53.6 Berman. How's this looking for Dirksey? He'll be past as they move around with Mercury, who had time to gain into this sector. Some distance back is Mercury from the lead group, but I do want to see how Mercury fares here. Rick Calley saying let's go Bad Rock Jones, so do exactly what Rick's done. Let me know who you're here to support today if you're watching live with us. I'd love to know how heavily supported our drivers are. I got no Saitos here from Division 2, or the GT4 I should say. 357 for Mercury. It's not looking amazing for Mercury so far. Junkai had the best lap earlier on, the best sector I should say. Each sector of this racetrack feels like a lap in its own. Team Jaguar is Kev Booz, that's Bad Rock Jones. We'll just see his sector. I won't necessarily go through every driver's sector, but these early ones really count. So we're ticking on through 54.3. That puts Bad Rock Jones in a good position so far anyway. We'll ride on board. We won't spend a lot of time riding on board during the race, but during qualifying I like to see every little detail of a driver's activity at the wheel. So we'll just make use of it in qualifying, in this one-shot qualifying. If you are late to the party today, it is one-shot qualifying for the drivers. Dark clouds overhead, but if we survive the first lap, we'll just monitor that one, because the lobby will be reset, so all weather conditions are on random. We will wait and see what happens here at the Nürburgring. Of course, it often rains, and then we're going to get some tasty action. 638.4 from Glovas through the Flansgarten and the Stefan Beloff S as we head up into Schwalbenschwanz. Easy for me to say, before going through the Dottinger Hoche and the long flat out section of the track. And see if I'm in time to catch Besso. I don't think I am. His sector. The all-important exit for Glovas then on the long straightaway. That's Besso making a big correction mid Schwalbenschwanz as Camzilla comes through. We have Floody. Oh, that's bad from TX Speedstars. That is obviously going to hurt his chances, unfortunately. And at the worst place, really, is the build-up to the long straightaway. Chaotica coming through into the second carousel corner. This is Berman following Chaotica. Down to Dirksey, Preston, Mercury, Junkai at the back, Badrock Jones, but back to championship leader to see his time as he comes through. He's not going to beat the 8-minute mark, but it's going to be close. It's an 8-minute 3:6:44 from Globas. 8 minutes 3:6:44 as we join Besso on board to see how that is going to compare. Whoa, sideways into the barrier almost from Besso as we come up towards that start-finish line. 8:04.259 is second place. Good enough so far. Camzilla, it's not going to be on the front row. An 8:06.4 for Camzilla. Floody is, you have to say, a fairly huge distance away. Here comes TX Speedstars coming through then to cross the line, and that's a fourth place 8:19, beaten by S. Berman. Then we have Floody coming through then to next up. Just a reminder, Besso has 50 points, well in the hunt here for fourth place in the championship. Floody through into seventh. Here comes Preston then, out of the final kind of half turn that we've got for Preston. It's with the Deviant gamer tag header, and up to sixth place for him. Floody is parked up. We've got Mercury coming through. Mercury is, as I said before, a long way back at the moment. Here comes Junkai, up and over the crest, getting down towards the BMW sign. Whoa, second place for Junkai. He's going to be very pleased with that. Just 0.6 of a second over the length of this lap is absolutely nothing. So we have a real close pace at the front. Globas and Junkai. Junkai in fourth place in the championship, but some 15 points away as Kamakopa gets it all wrong right at the last moment of the lap. He's going to be the next one to cross the line. Here comes Kamakopa. And that's good enough for 11th place. We've got Badrock Jones to come through. I think we saw... Did we? Well, yes, so Badrock Jones into 8th place. Mercury got a 10th place. Kamakopa, but it's Globas. No surprises to see Globas on top, but he's only got 0.6 of a second. And how about that gap between Junkai and Besso? 15 thousandths of a second separating second and third positions. The top three will be Globas, Junkai and Besso within a second of each other over the length of the endurance layout of the Nordschleife plus part of the Grand Prix circuit. Amazing stuff to see. We will be finishing off our session very shortly, as certainly Globas taking this opportunity to just get some time, some adjustment made, and doing his best here to run. Let's have a look, just check on tyres. Mediums all round, I believe so. So everyone going for the mediums. The softs had no chance at all today. The well, safety car soft tyres, all right, fair enough, that had a chance. But the medium tyres for everybody in the field, as we look to see what we have for you for the race. The session will be over in a second. I'll get you the full results, and then the lobby will die. We'll reset the lobby and we'll be underway. So hopefully everything will be ready for you for a fantastic 1 hour race around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Trying to find a car that's going to stay on the track for us to look at something slightly better. Yeah, looking forward to this one. It is hard tyres is the mandatory tyre today. As Kev Boo says, it's never easy to have the defending champ start next to you on the front row. Globas will need to earn this title. Absolutely. And I'm sure he would want it no other way. Tyre multiplier will certainly need to come down next season with this new physics. I can't get you the full results, but you saw them on screen. All the detail of the full results will be back into a new lobby for you very, very soon. So can't wait to see what these drivers have got in store for us. Let me know your podium predictions. You can, I tell you what, you can do your podium predictions now, and then for half as much cred, you can do your podium predictions after the safety car lap as well, which I still don't actually know from at this point. I don't have that announced, so I'll know as soon as I know. You guys will know what that safety car lap will be, and of course you cannot pit on the lap prior to the safety car, I believe is the exact way, and that is you cannot pit on the lap before the safety car is nominated to come out. So Bad Rock Jones says safety car lap 4. Great info, thank you very much. So hopefully I'll be able to get trackside in time as the drivers build up to this race. As Duve says, okay, you're slightly behind me there, but yeah, absolutely. Saito says Glovas, Merck, Junkai, Zen, and Kev Booze is saying Junkai, Glovas, Besso. Let me get everything ready. Get everything as I have been asked to make it. So we're not going to be displaying car information today, and we are going to have a fully immersive race for you. So drivers, get ready, and we will be going for a grid start. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but a grid start. So, as Timid says, the safety car lap is different because we can then pit during the safety car, of course, because the safety car will not be a full lap. We are not going to subject our faithful audience here to an entire lap of the Nürburgring at 70 miles an hour. As Kev Boost says, Besso was conceived, born and baptised at this circuit. He knows it frighteningly well. Well, I did speak with championship contender Glovas at the start of proceedings today, just before the race, and he told me that that Besso was going to be his main. Sorry, he said Zen was going to be his main rival and would be best at the track today. Let me just confirm that news that I had from him. He says Zen will be the best, so we've got a little bit of disagreement here. Unless Kev Boo's just saying that he knows it really well, but he's not necessarily the top threat to the championship. Here is Junkai then just trying out the track and the conditions. Sully has fitted soft tyres because he is the safety car, so he doesn't have to do very much at all. Nobody else on track at the moment, but we can look at the tyre selections on screen. I will leave them on screen. I will not necessarily read them all out to you because that's less than helpful. Well, it's perhaps too much help for the drivers if I read them out, if they happen to be listening in live to their strategies. So we're not going to talk we're not going to talk tyre wear and fuel rates too much today, as you may be relieved to hear. But we just want to make sure that we don't give the game away where strategy is all too important. However, the length of the lap means you either get it spot on with the strategies or you get it dead wrong. Yeah. Glovas predicting that Zen will be his main competition. He didn't mention Junkai, but as defending champ, this is absolutely going to be an opportunity. We are getting ready for the red lights at this stage, folks. Don't forget to like the video today and hit the subscribe button. Safety car will be during lap 4, coming out of turn 90, and then the safety car will peel aside and we'll be back on with us to turn 13, but it will then peel aside and release the cars to allow them the opportunity to go racing once again. We'll be on the grid for you very, very soon, so don't go anywhere. In fact, it's happening right now. Let's run the way through. We've got a custom grid here. We've got Badrock Jones on pole position. I'm not sure that's entirely correct, but Badrock Jones is on the pole at this stage. Maybe that came in late. Here come the red lights then. The revs are building, and it's time to go racing. It's drop the clutch and go on our season finale here of the GT3 World Challenge by Deviant League, as Glovas leads straight away into the front, and the Wolverine-clad Camzilla goes through into 4th position. A lot of jostling for position at the top 3, with Berman in 3rd, Junkai in 2nd, but Glovas is away at the front of the grid, exactly how he would like to start this race, from the offense, and showing a clean pair of wheels to defending champ Junkai, although unlikely to feature in the overall challenge for the outright lead of this championship, but he certainly wants to win the season finale here at the Nürburgring. I don't want to build it up too much, but we do have a 60-minute race, so I need to pace myself a little bit here and not get too excited, but you have to forgive me. Glovas leads by 0.3 of a second from Junkai, who has a similar gap, maybe just about 0.4 out to S. Berman, with Camzilla in 4th position. Chaotica in the Winterfresh liveried Peugeot, but it's Besso getting it a little bit wrong in the Chevrolet, losing 2, 3, maybe even 4 positions now to Zen up there in the Alfa Romeo with the Oscar Mayer Wiener livery and the car number 83 as Zen, the hot favourite as far as chief championship contender Glovas was concerned prior to the race. Zen is up to 9th position and racing hard and fast now, and coming up behind the Jaguar of Mercury, going right away. Oh, that's a big spin. That's a big moment. Can he hold it to a 360? No, it goes just over. He hits the front of the car. I'm pretty sure that is going to have damaged the car for Zen, and it was all looking so good to start with, but it's all gone wrong early doors here for Zen, but it's far from all over as Glovas leads from Junkai as we go over the crest, over the mini jump, and into the 2nd sector of our race. What a great start, and Saito is pleased that the livery is showing up now, which is great to see. It looks like the liveries have all featured virtually. Glovas, Junkai, Berman and Camzilla, your top 4 as they fly over the crest. Let's watch the cars. Anyone catching much air? But it's Besso in the Chevrolet. It's Mercury coming up behind in 8th position. Then we've got Bedrock Jones in the Renault with the 4 livery on top, and then the bright green Carl's Jr. Brando Dirksey's Jaguar in the car number 86, leading the bright pink of Floody, with Komakopa in 12th position. Zen rescuing back to 13th, but he's going to have to play follow my leader as it goes through the forest of the Nürburgring. Then we have a yellow flag up ahead of Zen, with Preston up behind. We've got some very close racing between Komakopa and Floody ahead. I hope that Komakopa is actually racing VR, because I have a PSVR 2 exclusive league on this channel, and we welcome him to join that one as well, as Komakopa is racing hard in 12th position and kicking up the dirt, and also following the dirt that has been kicked up, and that's another car struggling. I think it's not Zen, it's Floody off and down to 13th position, just making it a little bit better for Zen on his run back through the order. Glovas continues to lead by an unchanged distance of under half a second, maybe it's slightly more now, as he exits the northernmost point of the circuit. As Saito is saying, yes, he is racing in VR, which is, I think, great to see. A terrific challenge. You are committed to visor cam in VR. That was Berman getting wrong. I almost got excited then and called him Ollie Berman, but he put a 180 and he's waiting for a safe time to rejoin. This is a really difficult time to do a 5-point turn in the low-slung Ferrari with the poor turning circle. Berman down to 9th, and it is all kicking off. Let's see if we can just regather ourselves here for now. We've got Besso in 4th position in the Chevrolet, having got ahead of TX Speedstars TX Speedstar getting ahead of his teammate Berman, as Cam Ziller is in third place, trying to hang on to the coattails of the leaders, Glovas and Junkai, but I don't think he's going to quite have the pace here. Looks like these two are going to take this one into a two-horse race, barring any major mistakes or steward inquiries. Once again, Glovas from Junkai back down to underneath 0.4 of a second between these two. And running on through as Cam Ziller. You're not going to miss that car on track today, because it is looking amazing in the Alfa Romeo. I would have preferred if the other Alfa Romeo had been in a Deadpool one, but take nothing away from Cam Ziller's livery today, as Espeso then comes through, racing for Spain, the only Spaniard in the field today, and I think the only European in the field as well, as far as their representation flags are concerned. But another very, very good looking car there for Espeso. Glovas opening up a little lead here, perhaps a bit of a mistake from Junkai. And I'm going to take a sneaky look at their tyre allocation, not the wear rates, but it's mediums on the top three as we run through. Into fourth place Besso, the mandatory hard tyres on TX Speedstars, but he has got damage on the front wing for TX Speedstars, unfortunately, and that's going to need repair. So the worst thing you can do when you've got the mandatory harder tyre on is to damage the car early doors and force yourself into the pits. You may try and drive around it. Hard tyres for Badrock Jones, for Chaotica, so 5th, 6th and 7th in a good position here on the tyre. With Dirksey also in 8th, going side by side here with, I think that's Zen. Zen coming through, Zen on mediums, coming through into 8th place, explaining away a little bit of his pace at this early stage relative to these hard runners. But Zen into 8th position, and he was as low as 14th. So not even one lap old, and he's made up nearly half the deficit in track positions that he needed to. Hard tyres for Preston, mediums for Mercury, and he'll be driving our safety car later on in the GT4 World Challenge that we'll be staying with on the channel. We'll change the stream, but we'll be staying with it. S. Berman then, after that early off, has not damaged the car. He risked the soft tyres, so almost certainly will be in at the end of this very first lap. Komakopa in 13th position, racing in the VR helmet, is in on the medium tyres as well, and racing with Floody so much, but Floody's on the hard tyre. So I'm going to take that detail off the screen, because I have been asked not to show any details in terms of tyre and fuel wear. But good battle at the tail of the field here between Floody and Komakopa. The relegation zone drivers, TX Speedstars, Badrock Jones, are the ones vying for that relegation position. I think Zanshin and Komakopa are settled into being relegated to GT4, but it is all about TX Speedstars versus Badrock Jones. So keep that in mind today. As Kev Boo says, there is so much time left. Zen could go off again, and Steve be able to carve back up into contention. That is a strong old claim, you know. But here is the slipstream with on board with Floody, as we try and get those extra little portions of speed, but it's not quite enough to make the overtake into the twisty finish of the lap. But coming back out of that corner and into the pit lane for Floody. And, well, it looks like the safety car still touring, obviously, to get into position, I think, in time for lap 4. But as soon as the cars come through, I'm sure he will just peel off to one side. Here, though, back at the head of the field, it is still under half a second. Glovas ahead of Junkai. You get the feeling that Junkai is biding his time here. But onto the Grand Prix circuit now, as the drivers try to just make use of the width of the racetrack. These will be your best overtaking opportunities, where the track is nice and wide and the sort of securest place you can try and get ahead. Otherwise, it's just about piling on the pressure and hoping that the rival in front makes a mistake. Here we go. Look at all these backward-looking camera angles on the Nürburgring endurance layout. It is quite unique, you have to say, for Gran Turismo for these trackside cameras to be so close and capturing the green hell in all its devilish detail. But certainly on Globus's car hasn't left many stickers in the box. That is a very busy livery for Globus, and it's hard to sort of pinpoint exactly what we're looking at. Let's just have a closer look at the Chevrolet. It's a college football livery, but it's, what is this, every single team? Yes, I think it's kind of representing every team. I see Ayrton Senna's name on there as well. But a real mix of celebration liveries, I think, for the Chevrolet today. In the number 10. But 0.6 of a second separating those top two. Looked like Globus just a big, wide moment. There you go. Arcane telling me that Globus livery is a combination of all the liveries he's made for this season. And he's always a fan of the stickers. Good to know. Good to know. Camzilla, much more kind of contiguous livery today, but I like the intention behind Globus's livery. Very nice. 5.3 seconds off the lead, Camzilla at this stage. It's Espeso then in the sister Chevrolet to the car at the head of the field. I know that American race fans are well used to having teammates with different liveries, but for my sort of predominant European mindset, it is somewhat difficult to follow. Notwithstanding the Formula Series that have any kind of Red Bull sponsorship, the drivers. Oh, Besso just getting crossed up there. How is TX Speedstars doing as he tries to stay in the GT3 division? Well, it's looking good for him at the moment, up against the rival that whose name slips my mind at this current moment. I'll get back there in a moment when he's on screen. Zen is in 6th now, up from 8th to 6th from the last time we looked at him, but 25 seconds away from the lead of the race. The Oscar Mayer Wiener livery is taking in places today, that's for sure. We've got Dirksey. It was Copa. I think Copa definitely to be relegated this season, but we've got Dirksey in 7th place, Mercury in 8th. I think it was Badrock Jones, was it, who is fighting, yes, up against TX Speedstars. So it's going to be a hard-fought battle, this race between the two. But at the moment, it looks to be advantage TX. Do not bump on the back of Comacopa's. Now he's very French, this livery, as we mentioned earlier, but still seems to be repping the United States on his gamertag flag. Comacopa in 9th position, ahead of a driver who is ahead of him in the championship, Badrock. And then Chaotica in 11th. The gap's really opening up at the tail of the field at the moment, as Preston is chasing Chaotica here, just 0.6 of a second ahead of Berman in the Ferrari. So relegation not guaranteed. So you have a playoff, do you, for GT4 and GT3? I thought it was pure points, but there is a playoff to come. Here is a good pass opportunity then for the Ferrari. Draws alongside, but the next corner is a left. Can he hold it until they turn right? Great to see. Oh, very nice indeed. It's a good job it's dry, because he's out on the grass with two wheels, but taking the inside line, and a good pass there from Berman. We caught every moment of it. Beautiful. Anatole just explaining. Oh, spoiling it completely there, unfortunately, for Berman, who makes the pass. And how often do we see that in GT racing? Is you make the pass, you get ahead, you try to push as hard as you can to try and gap the person you've just been following, but then you make an error, unfortunately. So Preston gets his place back without even really having to try. Floodie's in 14th. Where is Sully on track at the moment? Sully's still trying to make it around to his position at the end of turn 90 for the end of lap 4. So no rest for Sully today. He's going to have to drive that car all the way, but it's very tight at the top of our standings here, with 1/4 of the race almost elapsed. It is Glovers ahead of Junkai, and I think we're getting close to a pit stop opportunity now for the drivers, and Junkai will be hoping to try and be as close as possible, if not pass, just before the pit opportunity, because he would love to be able to drive his own pace now, unlock whatever he's been keeping in his pocket, and go for it here. So piling on the pressure. I don't think Glovers is quite as twitchy as his car appears from Junkai's point of view, but we'll just ride with him and see how that feels. This is then the slipstream opportunity for Glovers in that wedge-shaped Lamborghini Murcielago. Sorry, the Huracan, it's not the Murcielago. Using the middle of the track is Glovers. You can see the extra speed, the overspeed there for Junkai behind, but he's just sitting pretty in the slipstream. He's not going to go for the run and just lifts off on the approach to the final couple of corners for fear of going off track. We'll wait to see, will we have a pit stop now? Is that what was happening as they get back onto the racetrack? No, yes, indeed. Pitting for the front two, Glovers and Junkai into the pits. So is Camzilla. So it looks like it's absolutely the time for those medium starters to head to the pit road. It is Espresso in as well. TX Speedstars trying to save himself from the ignominy of the playoffs for relegation as he heads in. So does Zen, now in 6th place and right behind TX Speedstars. But I think we're getting now into the hard runner part of the race. The Carl's Jr. Jaguar of Dirksey heading through and indicating for the pit lane. Very sporting of him, both Jaguars in together. And now Komakopa, bottom of the standings. Wow, that's a big one from Badrock Jones. Almost dislodges his rear wing. Unfortunately, can't get the car turned properly, and up and over the hill we go. Unfortunately for Badrock Jones, that one didn't work out, but into the pits then in 11th place. Is that everybody coming on in this lap? Because it is the good opportunity to do so before. No, we've got Preston, we've got S. Berman going through without pitting. And is that going to be Floody coming through as well? It is. So Floody in 10th. Mercury's on his way out now. So we've got a really mixed up order. In fact, how has Junkai got ahead of Glovers in the pit lane? I think that's usually achieved by fueling less, and certainly if he has been following in the wheel tracks and slipstream of another car for the first 2 laps of the race, he will have saved a little bit of fuel. Will not necessarily have to fuel to the same degree. Here they are, and there's a penalty and an indication perhaps that Glovas is pushing very hard indeed. He picks up a penalty going off track. Let's see if we can just track what happened there. Was it too much apex? Was it too much on the exit? And we'd already missed it, unfortunately. I'll try and be quicker with the replays if I can. But there we see a gap to 3rd position, 3 seconds between the lead pair here as they come through the compression bottom of the hill. And it looks like Glovas impatient to get back ahead here. Looking back to see how far back Camzilla is. Still some distance. We've got some flashing lights on the Lamborghini. I think that's accidental. Anatol was telling me that because drivers often have their headlights keyed into L3 on controller, They can end up flashing the lights accidentally. Running through then, we are nearly 20 minutes in. Where has that 20 minutes gone? Hitting the 6K point on the track. Camzilla in third place with Espesso. Why am I getting the info on screen? I shouldn't have that car info on screen. Let's just hit it. There we go. That's better. I did have the right setting, but it just wasn't showing properly. Zen has managed to undercut TX Speedstars through the pit lane period as well. And a beautiful up close there. We're getting almost inside the radiator of the Alpha. As you can see, a few dents and scratches on that front fender, but so far Zen now has closed the gap to the leaders. It was 24 seconds, it's now 20.6 seconds. And of course, he can just gain track position, and he just needs to stay on the lead lap, and he'll be okay. As long as he's on a good strategy, he will have the opportunity to get in the mix here with the leaders. 12 seconds is his deficit, though, to fourth position at the moment, so plenty of work to do, but it might be not very worthwhile. Stay ahead of TX Speedstars and get the next two at the safety car process. Lap 4 is safety car. At the end of laps 4, it will be corner number 90 up to corner number 19 for the following lap in lap 5. So Zen looking very good here to get in the mix and make this one a three-way battle at the head of the field, as long as we can stay on the same strategy as TX Speedstars getting off onto the grass. Now let's just sit on board, because it is looking a lot darker on the track. It is looking misty in the forest at the north of the circuit around Bergwerk and heading towards Kesselchen now. It is looking like we might be about to see a little bit of moisture, and on board with Chaotica again. I've just used the car info to check out if any moisture is showing. It is not at the moment on the track, but yes, we are definitely changing weather conditions here, and Chaotica off on the grass slightly. He won't be able to do that if we start to get the slightest amount of rain. This Winter Fresh is looking fantastic livery here. It's been a confectionery candy livery theme going on for the Renaults, the Peugeots this year, and I've been loving every minute of it. Renault's running 7th and 8th, Chaotica ahead of Preston, about 11 seconds deficit, but S. Berman right on the tail here of Junkai for now, but just upset the car coming out of the carousel. And we've seen Berman already having some issues today with the grip on the Ferrari and this treacherous Green Hell circuit. In 10th is Floody, ahead now of Mercury, with Dirksey in 12th. Car's just weaving around a little bit, starting to struggle, and we'll be looking at the windshield wipers with a great deal of interest here for our drivers to see if we see them turned on and that they have got some rain on their windshield, excuse me. Try and talk the language of the predominant areas of the field. Well, there is Sully back into the pits. Now, not quite sure why that is, unless he's planning to start again. Why did he run round and do an entire lap? Glovas has not increased the penalty at the moment. I tell you what, though, it does look like Camzilla has closed the gap a little bit. Danny Abrams saying the radar doesn't currently show anything for rain. Thank you for that, Danny, as our resident weather reporter, I think. But look at the track. I'm using my eyes at the moment. There you have the off-throttle penalty for Glovas. That means that Junkai will go through. No question about it. but look at the clouds gathering, and certainly in the forest, it is looking very misty indeed. Thanks, Timid. I appreciate it. But Junkai is 1/4 of a second ahead now. The gap was... he actually managed to gain very, very little as the dust is kicked up just slightly off the racing line as we finish out the final couple corners. And Glovas coming in, I wonder, you know, if the Glovas short stop and put on softs as Kamzilla goes through, but it was Besso coming into the pits, I believe, behind, as is, yeah, Besso came in. Will Zen do the same? Because I believe the safety car will be exiting shortly to get out of the way of everybody. TX Speedstars coming through as well, avoiding that pit lane. Chaotica in. Looks like Glovas did indeed put the softs on, so did Besso for a single lap prior to the safety car. Presumably now going to put hard tyres on to finish the race in its entirety as we almost hit the halfway point of the race. And Glovas, I think, is out on the hard tyres. I'll just confirm that because this is really important for the drivers. Yes, indeed. So hard tyres for Glovas. In fact, let's just check out what did Junkai do. He went for the hards early and may struggle to get the hards home, but now we're going to have an interesting strategic battle, aren't we, between P1 and P2. But difficult to say who has got it right. Let's just check out, where is Sully. He's still in the pit lane, so he's not coming out at the moment, because lap 4 we do have the drivers out. So is Sully going to come out and reverse down the grid potentially? Thank you to Kuros Kai for the sub today. Timid saying fuel alone makes it to where they all need another pit. Right, indeed. Good catch on that one. I'm not following the fuel loads or announcing it particularly, but that does make it very interesting indeed. So, but the hard tyre is the mandatory tyre today. What's Doof about reversing the grid? So he will reverse. Thank you, Doof. Appreciate it. I thought he was just going to wait off track, but I suppose he would pick up. He'd get disqualified, wouldn't he, if he stayed still for too long? 2.5 seconds separates our new top two, which is Junkai from Kamzilla in the Wolverine livery Alfa Romeo 4C. Zen now into 3rd position, but he's 14.2 seconds away. That won't make a lot of difference because he's now got track position over the likes of TX Speedstars and Glovas. Did I just see? I just saw someone off. It was Kamzilla. It was Junkai off. Kamzilla's taken the lead, and this is how it happened. On board with Junkai as we go over the crest. We're just going to lose grip. We're on slightly worn hard tyres, and it's a full spin. That's a big impact, and that is damage on the car as well. A big impact on the car. Was that even a cheeky old reset to track? Potentially. So important. I'm going to see it one more time on the circuit, and I hope you don't mind. But we'll go back to racing action now. Let's just take everything off that we don't want to see. There we go. Back to the setup that we want, but 8.8 seconds, that could decide the winner of this race, because he's now just lost a lot of time and will have damaged the car. The Lamborghini will not be looking quite so pretty on the front end here. Kamzilla in the lead by 8.3 seconds. Glovas' deficit to the lead, 36.5, but he's on a slightly favoured strategy here, you fancy. But trying to handle this car on new hard tyres out of the pit lane is definitely going to be a struggle for the drivers, and it is brightening up a little bit. So I think as we go into the forest, I think it was just a little minor change. Looking at Sully on the mini-map is hilarious. There he is, yes indeed. So we just have a cheeky little look. What's he? He didn't actually reverse, or he did reverse and he's spun. What has happened to Mercury? I need to see this again. What are we doing? Did the safety car driver now spin? I'm going to have to make a compilation of Mercury as the safety car driver. I think he spun. As he's just having a laugh now, isn't he? No? I think he overcooked it into the car, and he's sitting and waiting now for our grid to get underway. What on earth is happening here? Let's just get back to live action, shall we? As Camzilla is in the lead, but he's only in the lead by 3.3 seconds. Did he have a problem? sorry to mash the button, but did Camzilla just struggle as well? And was he stationary for a moment? As we run into the next corner, did he get a mistake? Well, it is still looking a little bit misty. No, we're all right, we're okay. So back to live racing as Camzilla leads, and every single time I change the settings, I end up losing the right view. Camzilla leads by 2.9 seconds from Junkai as the safety car is waiting on the exit of Schwalbenschwanz corner, turn number 90. And running through, Junkai in second place then. And it's just a bit of a cruise now, I think, to the safety car. So the driver's just waiting for the field to condense. 6.5 seconds. Zen is not waiting. He is pushing like crazy in this Alfa Romeo to try and catch Junkai and Camzilla before we hit the safety car. You can see Sully on the race map, the stationary car on the race map, just waiting now on the corner. Should just find a marshal's post and wait there, I think, after his outlap, and just sit and watch the race cars come by. But he's reversed down the long straight. I think he went forwards, backwards, as it were. He was in a forward gear, travelling northeast on the long straight, and then did a spin turn at the end. As we're about to catch that safety car, Camzilla is going to lead them in, and he's just cruising now, and Junkai is catching Cam. So you will see Camzilla last corner before he catches the safety car, and Sully is waiting in the wings and waiting and ready to go. Just about to come out of turn number 90, and here he is. He will catch him. Sully is on track in a great position in the bright green. In fact, Camzilla still having to slam the brakes on to catch. So any close battles before we get under safety car order? Well, Glovas is still ahead of Besso, 5th and 6th position. Glovas on a slightly different strategy here, but maybe he's in a great place for racing. Well, he's losing out a little bit as Besso quite fancies an overtake before the safety car. I think they're free to race until they can see the safety car, and having to brake. Whoa, Espresso then locking up the rears, and now they will cruise, I think. Or will they? Espresso, yeah, that was that was a hard braking possible brake test, but I wouldn't wish to cast aspersions. Mercury coming down onto the long straight, Chaotica, Dirksey in 9th, then comes Badrock Jones at the moment in 10th position. So no one can pass anyone. So that was what was happening. It was just getting really close. And then we have 3 seconds deficit for Floody here, but that's no harm as he goes in towards the penalty zone. You'll see him slow suddenly, go off throttle, and then they can head through Timitas regardless of how far back they are. And Saito okay, Floody getting a pit penalty. Thank you to Kiros Kai there for the info on the penalty. That's what that was about. I don't think there's a white line to cross here in Nürburgring, but could have been speeding or white line on the exit of the pits that you cross, as you want to get the best line into the hairpin that you can. So we're getting ready for the restart soon, as Commentator obviously on the lead lap still. Be hoping to try and run through. We've got some pit stops. We've got Camzilla in. We've got, well, nearly everybody, and Chaotica out on his own. He will pick up the safety car there. Floody is passing everybody, is he? Yes, indeed. Floody and Preston are going to pass the entire field, who are fueling up. I'm going to try and fuel to a finish here. The mandatory tyre has been used by a few drivers now, as it looks like Glovers has fitted mediums. Espresso is out. Camzilla is, well, I don't wish to be rude about what I've just seen, but the two cars merging somewhat, 6th and 7th, as Junkai was trying his hardest to get out ahead of Camzilla, but didn't make it. So Junkai down in 7th. This has really upset the order. These then were the podium contenders as they went into the pit lane during the safety car. It was Junkai, it was Camzilla, Junkai, Zen, but looks like Glovas has short-stopped there. Had to fuel less than the other drivers and has leapfrogged them in the pits. So he is now in the better position on the circuit. As Anatol saying, phrasing. Yes, I was struggling for words there, Anatol. You can rate my phraseology if you wish, or my vocabulary for that moment. Sully getting ready to peel away and back towards get us back to racing conditions, as we have a beautifully bright coloured grid. The Winterfresh, Wrigley's Winterfresh Chaotica livery Peugeot is the head of the field now. Sully's lights are still on, so I imagine they'll be turned off soon. And Floody in 2nd position. And this is really going to mix up the order, but there will be plenty of pit stops still to play, and we will have about 23 minutes to go. We are under green flag racing once again, and we have 23 and a half minutes to go in this race as Floody runs in 2nd position. Chaotica takes the lead. We have Preston in the 2nd, Peugeot in 3rd position with Glovas in 4th, and racing hard with Espresso just behind him. Glovas leapfrogging his race rivals in the pits. And trying... No, that's going wrong. It's not going to be good for Glovas as now Camzilla gets ahead. Junkai and TX Speedstars, who's trying to protect himself from relegation today. Mercury is just recovering there and just about holding on as Glovas down to 8th position and wiping out all of the advantage he had earlier on as they head up and over the crest. The car's getting slightly airborne if they are not careful. You can just avoid that by feathering the throttle as you go over the hill. But hardly anybody wants to do so, as Anatol says, terrible rejoin. Oh, okay, well, I'll call what I see and put an asterisk next to it. TX Speedstars, how about that one, ahead of Camzilla and making a great restart. Whoa, and sideways a bit more as well. So brilliant as TX Speedstars has no business being in the hunt for relegation with a drive like this so far. Glovas side by side with Camzilla on 2 wheels on the grass again, and Glovas has got the red mist, he's got the visor down and he's going for it. He doesn't want to finish behind these guys. He really wants this race win, and he doesn't want any problems with the stewards later on, because he is 1 point clear of Zen in the championship, and Zen now will have a golden opportunity to take this one. Where is Zen at the moment? He is down currently in 13th and didn't have a good restart or pit sequence. So Zen in 13th versus Glovas in 7th, with the possibility of stewards intervening. Don't forget, any results today will be premature. We will have stewards inquiries, and I will leave a comment in the race replay with a spoiler warning for the eventual standings as they finished. As there goes Glovas past the TX Speedstars, and it didn't last long, TX Speedstars getting ahead, but Glovas has gone through. So he's got Junkai next, who is right knocking on the door. Junkai moves through past Preston. What a restart lap we have got on our hands here as Junkai goes through. Glovers is on the inside line ahead of Preston. They're in a different race altogether, but Preston couldn't do more to get out of the way, frankly, of Junkai and Glovers coming through. But Preston, a bit of a moving roadblock right now. He's lost momentum, which means everyone is going to be bullying him to get past. And we have Floody at the head of the field, ahead of Besso, Chaotica, and then the previous podium contenders, Junkai and Glovers, with Preston into 6th place now. And we will wait to see what happens with Zen, who has a whole load of work left to go. Chaos is a ladder. Go, Peugeot, go, says Saito. So it is absolutely brilliant to see. We are down to just over 20 minutes to go in our GT3 World Challenge. Coming up on the channel straight after this one will be the GT4 World Challenge, and the combined constructors are not decided until that race has been run and done. Junkai just wiggling around a little bit. There's a bit of a move going up ahead, and that was Espresso just passing Floody, and I want to see that one again as he comes up. Well, it looked like possibly Floody having a problem then, because he came from a hell of a long way back. Big slide for Floody. That was what killed his momentum onto the grass. Espresso still 2 wheels onto the grass as he got excited with the opportunity of passing, and did so beautifully. And back to live action. We don't want to miss another moment as Chaotica is in 3rd with Junkai right behind him, but Chaotica is holding off Junkai really nicely here so far, and they are 4 seconds away from the lead of this race. P3 is Chaotica still, I think, just with the brakes on, and Junkai trying to take the wider run through the line, and Glovers is struggling to find track position here. You don't want to get too far alongside another driver in the wrong part of the track and open the door to a rival behind. 3-car racing is tough racing here at the Green Hell, and you really have got to have your wits about you. Junkai needs to get a move on to get past, but not be too impatient, because you can be 0 to 0 very quickly. That was a huge slide from Glovers once again, fully sideways round the corner. But there was another great move there. Lap 5 is where it's at here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife endurance layout today for this 1 hour comparative sprint around an endurance an endurance zone here. And it is dark in the forest at this point of the circuit, but Glovers chasing on and trying here to win this race, to win the championship in style if he can, but knowing that it's all about his position versus Zen, versus Mercury as well. And so far he's doing enough, but we don't know any post-race problems, so that is the championship as this stands. We've got to see Glovers finish ahead or just behind with those drivers. Some chat going on between each other. I thought I was being accused of something there, but it's okay. It's just a live chat. We've got 17 minutes countdown on the timer there. Oh dear, what's going on here for Chaotica? Way out on the grass. I think he's had enough of defending from those two. He exits stage right and stage left, his left at least, but he's let his teammate by, and he's lost momentum at the worst possible moment, has Chaotica. So if you were going to let the sort of erstwhile leaders through, that was not the place to do it, as Glovers chases down Junkai here, down the long Dottinger Roche and through Antonisbuche, around the Tiergarten area of the racetrack, under the Bilstein bridge we go, as we try to finish out this 5th lap here. The drivers haven't actually got the fastest lap on the screen, crazily, I don't know why, but very busy down here into the final corner of the of lap 5, and that is Floody in the pits, Glovers and Junkai going through, as did Espresso. Preston comes into the pits as well, obviously lost tyres on that lap, absolutely destroyed his tyres, but here is a battle then. 4th Badrock Jones, 5th TX Speedstars. These two are in the battle for the relegation playoffs, so it is going to be anybody's game here in the Ford-sponsored Renault RS01 versus the Ferrari of TX Speedstars, racing in the official Scuderia Ferrari colours. No fancy liveries or sponsors there for TX Speedstars today. But Mercury, he's in the hunt here for 2nd or 3rd position in the championship, but it's not going to be any good down in 6th place as Kev Boo says, still almost anyone's race. Such an amazing and unique feature is the safety car on this league. Absolutely correct. I do enjoy it, no end. Proper American racing with a caution period as well. We've got P2 Junkai, P3 Glovas. They are some 5 seconds away from Espesso, who holds the lead, and Espesso could do himself a great situation. He could do himself and his team no end of favours here for Chevrolet. Now Chevrolet currently second in the championship, defending from Ferrari, who are 7 points ahead, and he needs to try and do the honours here with Junkai and allow Glovas to catch. Maybe try and hold up Junkai a little bit, cost him a little bit of tyre wear if he can, but he's probably too far away to do anything about that at the moment. But in a good position for Chevrolet, first and third at the moment. Badrock Jones versus Speedstars remains fourth and fifth respectively. Mercury is catching really nicely here in P6 as well. Cam Zilla was fighting for the podium earlier on. He's currently in 7th place. We still may see some pit stops with 14.5 minutes to go on our race. About 9 minutes are the laps. They are wildly varying, the laps, the lap counts here. I don't know why. I think after I've hit the replay is why I get the situation with the display, which we don't want to see. So let's try and turn things off. There we go. I'm still not getting fastest lap, unfortunately. Dirksey versus S. Berman, who's 2 wheels up on the grass twice to try and make the pass. Will he complete it on the way into the left-hander? And he does so. Nice pass from Berman, even though he's taking some liberties with the track limits. And there is Zen, who's in 10th place, fighting for second in the championship here. Badrock not messing around, taking no chances with promotion relegation playoffs. Indeed, he's not, but he is fighting with his main rival here, TX Speedstars. So he's pushing incredibly hard. TX Speedstars is 3 points behind Badrock Jones, and he gives up the position there. Let's just check that out once again. TX Speedstars up and ahead. So Anatol says we're not going to have a fastest lap. Okay, yeah, understood. That's why. So I'm not going crazy, and there's not another problem with the grid. But there we go. Back to live action between these two, and I will have to change the settings once again. My apologies. Okay, back on every single replay. Scattering the dirt and the grass, and a massive spin then for Badrock Jones. Just got on the wrong part of the grass there on the track, trying to rejoin. Is this safe? It is far from safe. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. A poor form then for Badrock Jones. That could be the deciding factor for Badrock Jones, and it's actually affected Zen in second in the championship as well. Zen with a problem here as well. Let's try and see that from Zen's perspective as he sees the yellow flag. Now that does mean, wave yellow flag does mean be cautious into the corner. It's not double wave yellows. A green flag he gets once again. Oh, that's unfair from the game, because he gave him a green flag and there was still a driver completely across there. Badrock's wheel stop working, says Danny. So that is shocking. And what did Zen end up doing here? Zen has got back running, but that is huge for the championship contention. That could end up accidentally deciding our championship at the head of the field, because we've got Glovas, who is racing with a potential asterisk on his name. Kuros Kai says poor from everybody. Well, I'm not sure what else Zen could have done other than slam on the brakes after a green flag. He had a green flag and he pinned it. And what else would you expect a racing driver to do? That is partly poor from the game, as Danny says Badrock's wheel is back. Well, a temporary problem there, an alarmingly quick temporary problem for Badrock. That will really disappoint him and anybody that came into contact. But as we run, we've got 12 minutes to go, so this will be the penultimate lap here. As Kev Boo says, his podium prediction is still somewhat intact. Junkai Glovas Besso, it absolutely is, you're not wrong. But will we see further pit stops here from the drivers? My apologies, but I am now tired of changing the system, because I'm seeing so much worthy of a replay. that I will just not reference what's happening with the tyres. And if the drivers can look at a live stream in detail while driving and draw any inferences from it, good luck to them with just a couple of laps to go. BRJ was mentioning that Wheel was putting in random right turn inputs. Okay. It's causing some entertainment on the racetrack. Well, I'm sure if the driver is streaming or has his own race replay, it will be very, very clear to the stewards. So we'll leave that discussion till later on, as Espesso leads our race by some 6 seconds ahead of Junkai and M. Glovas. How is everything else working out? Well, TX Speedstars versus Berman is 4th versus 6th at the moment. That's really important for the relegation battle. Mercury has picked up a 3-second penalty, but I think through no fault of his own. I think that was partly due to Bad Rock Jones's restart, and whoa, getting the nose up in the air there from Mercury. Beautiful. little stunt from him. Camzilla is in 7th, has hard tyres on Camzilla. Dirksey has the mediums on as well. Then we have Zen down in 9th place. He's gone out to 40.5 seconds, and I think his only run here, his only hope, is to run this race to a finish on these hard tyres and pick up places in between. But that is there's very little the stewards can do to gift time to Zen. They can punish the driver who was at fault, but they can't really promote a driver who wasn't. Preston in 12th, Chaotica in 13th. The Peugeots started this restart in 3rd and 4th, I think it was, or 2nd and 3rd, and they're down to 12th and 13th. There's Bad Rock Jones and bad restart from Bad Rock, you have to say. Bad rejoin. Are we going to be okay to call him Bad Rejoin Jones now? I don't think he'll appreciate that one. But Espesso, 5.3 seconds in the lead of Junkai, and now Glovas. It's about a second of a deficit away. That's certainly catchable as we head into what will be the final lap of the race, I feel, especially with these pit stops at the lead 3, and that will tick us over into the final lap. Now, anybody else will be able to run this one. TX Speedstars has probably, I'm putting a guess here, possibly enough fuel to the finish, but no, he comes into the pits. Will everybody make this opportunity? Camzilla's going through. He's going to do it. He's got a 1/3 of a tank of fuel to go, and I think that's going to be enough to finish this one. Camzilla back into the lead of the race. Fantastic scenes for Camzilla and the Wolverine livery as he heads. He takes a green flag, lack of pit stop, where everybody else is lapping now. Out of the pits comes Espesso. Camzilla roars into the lead of this race. M. Glovas ahead of Zen, who didn't pit either. So Zen running with the hard tyres. Glovas going to go and run the softs here. So soft tyre with plenty of fuel. Too much fuel, you have to say, from Glovas. He's just going to run fully rich and pin the throttle to the bulkhead here for the finish. And then we've got Zen on hard tyres, who's going to try and pressurise Glovas into a mistake as he pushes. Junkai with a pit exit penalty, 3 seconds. That's huge. Arcane confirms this is the last lap. Camzilla may need to slow down, he says Kev Booz. Otherwise, he'll have to go round again. It's possible, but he'll certainly secure himself the win nonetheless, and it'll be a victory lap for Camzilla if he does. I think he'll time out, though. So round we go as Junkai in 3 seconds, and it's a hell of a victory lap if that is what ends up happening. 3 seconds plus on the car for Junkai. Medium tyres as well. And what's he doing with a full tank of fuel for a single lap? Obviously, Zen is going to have to be cautious with his fuel usage here. But it has absolutely thrown the order. We have got a 1-lap shootout essentially for the drivers, and they're all clustered together after that pit stop, non-pit stop moment, as Camzilla now has the fastest lap, but Floody is the fastest man on track right now in 6th position. Camzilla in 8:16.548. As Junkai must have taken a bathroom break in the pits. It's quite possible drivers actually do that, or they check their phone and get bogged down in messages. They spill a drink as they reach for it or something like that. As Anatol says, they're betting on one more lap, haven't done their maths properly. So Camzilla would have no incentive here to run unless his teammate is in the hunt here and has fuel to a finish. Unless Camzilla's teammate is possibly going to try and run this one to the finish. Let's just check that one out. So Zen does not have fuel to a finish, so I don't think that gives Camzilla any incentive to stay on track and try and run this out to an 8th lap. Speedstar's getting slightly sideways over the crest there. Preston is in 8th. He's got the headlights on both his car and the car behind Berman. Yellow headlights for a GT3 car. Not usual over here in the WEC Endurance Series. For that, the GT4s have the yellow headlights and the GT3s have the white highlights. Kiros Kai says 5 minutes 30, not enough time to get another lap, he says. So just a bit of an argument as to whether Camzilla can make it round or not. But now Preston, the fastest sector. Everybody's got speed at this point. A complete mixture on fuel loads as well, as drivers thinking there may be an 8th lap. But consensus seems to be there will not be an 8th lap. And as I say, with Camzilla, wow, Espeso has closed in that gap. Check it out. And if Espeso does push this into another lap, as he gets 2 wheels on the grass out there, he's trying to do the favours here and get the points for Team Chevrolet as they defend 2nd place in the championship. Alfa Romeo have already secured that, but there's no way through, barring mistakes at the head of the field here as they run through this very narrow portion of track. It's Camzilla, Espeso and Glovas in 3rd position, trying to win the championship from the defending champion John Kai, and that's a side-by-side moment there for Camzilla and for Espeso, and he just elbows his way into the lead of this race. That was very tight and very, very risky from our drivers. Let's try and see just how close that was. As Camzilla, Espeso launches one down the inside. They rub sidewall to sidewall, and yeah, very much elbowing his way through. But no harm, no foul. You might argue, as as Danny calls bully out there in the chat, well, absolutely. Some controversial opinions coming from Danny today, but you were dead right on the weather, certainly at this point. Espeso screams into a 2.3 second lead on this race. Now, surely Camzilla will try and hold off Glovas as we get into sunset conditions almost. That's why the headlights have come on. Espeso is in a hurry up here. As Anatol says, busy night for the stewards coming up. Well, look, Espeso will do no favours to his teammate, I think, because his teammate would have to pit again on soft tyres to finish this race out. Espeso is on soft tyres too, so they are going for it. Camzilla could be fuel saving, says Arcane, so excuses coming in for the Alfa Romeo team maybe. But Camzilla, I don't think anyone wearing Wolverine livery would run. Well, you may be right. Let's look at the fuel. You may well indeed be right about that one. He is very, very low. But he can't be feeling too good about being muscled out of the way. But Glovas then coming up to the latter portion of our final lap. Well, he hopes anyway. John Kai still wearing that 3-second penalty. Is he sufficiently ahead of Floody? I think so. Saito saying, speak no evil, as people are tired of watching the race, who are going to be participating in the next race to come. Oh, Glovas, another sideways moment, arresting his momentum. He may end up finishing this race out on into 3rd position here, as Espeso is doing his best to stay ahead and try with 1 minute and 40 to go. I think that is enough to secure this as the final lap of the race. It's Espeso's outlap, would you believe, as running then through and over the graffiti on the racetrack. He is looking very good out there, is Espeso. What a turn up for the books as well. Espeso running 5th in the championship. He could actually end up here in 3rd place in the championship if he can overhaul Mercury sufficiently with point scoring today, and Mercury is not in the top 8, so that is pretty big and pretty good for Espeso as he heads up towards the straightaway. We'll go through the order. Kamzilla, Glovers, Junkai and Floody, with Zen in 6th place, but Zen is well within range of that 3 second position of Floody with the penalty on board. Berman is in 7th. TX Speedstars could well be protecting himself from relegation playoff here in 8th place. Chaotica in 9th. Mercury trying to get 3rd place in the championship, or at least hold it, but down in 10th, that may be questionable. Preston is down in 11th place, but Mercury and Chaotica are running very close to TX Speedstars as we come through. Comma Copa is in 13th. Badrock Jones down at the tail of the field in 14th. Espresso is closing out this lap. It is 15 seconds to go. Surely he's going to put the brakes on. He doesn't want another lap. Let's wait and see. The gap is 3.4 seconds. He can afford to wait. He's going to come up to the line. Will he press the brakes? It's 3, 2, 1. And there it is. He wins the Nürburgring season finale from Glovas. And with Kamzilla having a problem of running out of fuel, Kamzilla at the death of the race. So it is a 1-2 for Team Chevrolet at the Nürburgring Endurance Circuit. Junkai ahead of Floody for now at least. Junkai coming in 4th and Floody through. Zen did not close that gap down into 6th position, so will almost certainly not be able to overhaul Glovas for the championship. Berman in 7th. It is Chaotica in 8th position, with Preston coming through in 9th. Mercury was beaten by Dirksey, with TX Speedstars dropping right down into 12th at the end, but he does finish ahead of Badrock Jones. He was fighting for relegation playoff, but Comma Copa coming through. Badrock Jones may lose any points he actually picks up today, so it could still be that TX Speedstars gets the 4 points he needs to save himself from the playoffs. Here comes Comma Copa to come through and finish the race in 13th position. Hard fought from Comma Copa. Badrock Jones will finish, but it's Espresso for a 1-2 for Chevrolet ahead of provisional world champion Glovas, who completes the podium with Kamzilla in the Wolverine livery, who slashes his way to 3rd. Junkai in 4th, Floody in 5th. I'll give you the official results as we get this one for you. But there then, the plaudits going to the Modulo-sponsored Espresso for the only Spaniard in the field, the only non-American representing in the field, and he completes the 1 hour and 1 second race, 7-lap race around the Nürburgring Endurance Circuit. 1.9 seconds ahead of teammate Glovas in the Corvette C7. Then comes the Kamzilla in the already crowned Constructors' Champions Alfa Romeo 4C, and he managed to get pipped to the fastest lap at the end by Floody. Junkai in 4th, Floody in 5th. We have Zen in 6th place, Berman in 7th, Chaotica completed the 8th place. We have different manufacturers. We have, 7... Am I right? We have 7 manufacturers in the top 8 finishing, which is great to see. It's Peugeot's Preston in 9th. Then comes Dirksey for the Jaguar team, and Mercury for the same team in the F-Types in 10th and 11th. TX Speedstars, I think, must have either run out of fuel or had a problem on that final few meters of the racetrack, finishing down in 12th, but sufficiently far, you would think, ahead of Badrock Jones. Kilmer Copa finishes in 13th, and what a race we had. We'll be back on this channel in a few minutes' time for the start of the GT3 race. But for now, folks, thanks for watching this Deviant GT3 World Challenge season finale at the Nürburgring with me, Webbo. Thank you for liking and subscribing today, and I will catch you on the next race day.